Tonight on Celebrities Off Stage, Lori Ann Cook reviews some of her most compelling interviews.
And I shattered everybody's idealism about Reba McEntire.
She is one of the most successful female vocalists in country music, but the road hasn't always been smooth. Tonight, Reba McEntire talks about her career, her family, and her painful divorce.
I had shared so much of my private life with everybody, and then I had so many fan club letters coming in saying, "You said it was perfect. You lied."
I looked for my pistol because I was going to put it to my head and just blow my brains out. I was so miserable. I then lost all control of my life.
How did Ricky Van Shelton lose control?
Troy Aikman is back to pass. He's looking.
You know, something we've learned over the years doing these in-depth interviews with the stars is that, like it or not, celebrity status does change everyone in one way or another. In fact, by 1990, Reba McEntire had discovered the hard way that her honesty with her fans was actually leading some of them down the wrong path. She'll explain that later, but first, one thing that will never change: Reba is a no-nonsense lady. Our interview took place at her home in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, 8 years ago.
A lot of people describe you as very strong lady, independent, take charge, lady who knows what she's about. True?
Well, I guess so, in a lot of ways. I'm pretty stubborn, redheaded, and yeah, I don't like messing around with a lot of things. I like to go do a job and do it right and complete it.
Not a lot of ladies are like that. Do you find that that intimidates other people?
I find that people really do like it. They like a woman that is strong and can speak up for herself and not have to be helped with every little thing. Now, I do like to be pampered. I really do. I like the doors to be open for me and men to be like gentlemen around me and not to talk foul-mouthed around me. And it's a good feeling to be treated like a lady. But I don't want to be a wimpy lady.
You've said before that country music, when you came into it, the business, was really a man's world. And you've had to struggle a little bit with that. How hard have you had to struggle?
What I had to do is basically prove that I'm a woman that can do the job, and I can get ahead of what they think about a woman can do. And if they think a woman can't do anything other than sit over there and sing when they're pointed to, I'll show them different. If a person says to me, "No, a woman can't do that in country music," you might as well forget it. They've said the wrong thing to me, because I'll die trying to prove them wrong.
You described yourself before as, I think the word you used was almost hick. You said, "I'm almost hick."
But I am hick.
You said you're hick.
I'm no almost about it. I've come a long way, baby. That's a good slogan for me.
But on the other hand, there has always been something about you, something very classic. There's something very glamorous about you.
Me?
As well.
Well, thanks.
Oh, yeah. Don't you feel glamorous during your stage show?
Oh, sure. That's playtime. That's acting. That's getting to be Reba McEntire, the entertainer, that I really like to be.
You hit on a very interesting point. You said, "That's Reba, the entertainer." Is there a difference between the lady I see on stage and the lady who's sitting here?
Only because I can play each song. I can go into my own video, my own world. Now, me and you talking right now, you know, you're Lori and I'm Reba, and we're talking about day-to-day things. But when I'm on stage, I'm everybody, and I get to be those different people, and it's fun. You get to be sassy on Respect, and then you get to be the little old girl that became a very rich person, being a prostitute and fancy. And you're still proud, and you're cocky because you're fancy. It's neat.
People have always said that hard times in a person's life builds character. What's been the hardest time in your life, and how did it build your character?
I've had a great life. The only rough spot was the divorce back in '87.
In this day and age, it's kind of the thing for celebrities to spill their guts, if you will, about things that happen in their personal life. You've chosen not to do that. You really haven't talked about the divorce. Why?
First of all, it wasn't a pretty subject. I didn't want to drag everybody through the mud. Really wasn't anybody else's business. I had shared so much of my private life with everybody. And then I had so many fan club letters coming in saying, You said it was perfect. You lied. I had you up on a pedestal. You were perfect. And now what are you doing? You're lying. And I shattered everybody's idealism about Reba McEntire. And I thought, wow, I guess I've just buried my soul too much.
Does it bother you that other people would get so involved in your personal life that it would upset them when you have to make a decision that's good for you?
Well, the thing that really bothers me about all the divorce situation was that they stayed married because I was married. That's sad. They were staying married because I was married. Now, folks, something's not right there. If you're not happy, you need to fix your own life. Don't go pattern your life after me. I boo-boo. I make big-time mistakes. I'm not perfect.
What you did, though, may surprise a lot of people because when you married Narvel, you put yourself back in a situation where you are personally and professionally involved with the man you're married to. Why is he the right person for you?
Because he is motivated like I am. He understands me, and we're both hungry. We're never satisfied. We're always open to a challenge. We feed off each other, and it's a lot of fun. Narvel's always entertained me, and that's very important.
You've got a real difficult little balancing act here because, on the one hand, obviously you want your career to be very high profile, but you seem to want to keep the family very low profile. Is that even possible?
I think so. It's working out real well so far. Shelby, I want to be Shelby. I want Shelby to be a kid. And when he goes to first grade, the other little kids to say, oh, yeah, you're a hotshot. I see you on TV, and I see you on stage, and you're with your mommy, and you do this and then that. I want Shelby to be Shelby. I want him to walk in first grade, and he's his own little man.
How have you kept the business from jading you?
This is not a good subject. It's a good subject, but it's a sad subject. Because when you get uppity and when you get jaded and when you feel like you know everything about the business and you think you've got it so good and you want another toy to play with, you get a letter from a fan. And I read one yesterday that just tore me up. It was a young lady. She was 21 years old, and she had been in a coma. Well, first of all, she had been in a car wreck. And she hit a gas truck that was full of gas and exploded. And she was in a coma, went to the hospital, and they told her there was no hope for her. Told her mom there was no hope for her. Her mother wouldn't give up. She read to her. She let her listen to classical music, pop, jazz, every kind. And her last resort was country music. This girl wrote to me. And she said that she had one of my tapes and one of the Judd's tape. And her mother would play these tapes over and over. And on one of my songs, this girl told me that her hands started moving on one of my songs. So her mother repeated this one song over and over and over. And one day she was going, I think she was been in a coma like 17 days straight. And her mother had gone out of the room to get her a cup of coffee. And the nurse came in and heard the tape playing and turned it off. And this girl said, no. And the nurse turned around and looked at her and said, no, what? She said, Reba.
The impact that you have, I bet you never imagined it.
It's not me. It's my music. It's the voice. It's that.
But that's you.
But it's not from me. It comes from here, and it goes through my heart, and it comes out my mouth.
You believe that?
But that gets me, because it is so touching. It's so much. It's so spiritual. No matter what you're doing, no matter what you're singing, it's I hate to hear a person sing that's got a good voice that don't hit you in the heart.
Has a huge responsibility on you as a singer, though.
I'm just the messenger. I'm just the deliverer.
So you don't let the pressure get to you?
Well, yeah, because when I don't deliver it good, I know that he can take it away from me if I don't do my part. That scares me. I like this. I like being a messenger.
And Reba still has a strong sense of responsibility. She's been working very closely with the Salvation Army and children's hospitals. She has a new album out, a new tour with Brooks & Dunn, and has just completed a starring role in a TV movie. Now stay with us for a dramatic...